Okay, I'm going to start because it's 7:30.
Good.
Going to call this meeting to order, and
This should be a quickie.
do we have enough people to have the meeting?
Yes.
So let's go for it. Yeah, I've never been here for a roll call, so I don't know how it goes.
Absolutely.
So did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes of the October meeting? I did.
Very detailed as always. Action minutes. Looks good to me.
Anyone second? Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We approve the minutes. Okay. There's a public comment thing, and there's no one here. I have a procedural question about this. If someone should come in and before the meeting is over and wants to do a public comment, can they?
Technically, no. Because
They missed that part?
of the agenda. They could do public comment on any of the agenda items.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Announcements from staff and committee members?
You guys want to talk about the event tonight?
Oh,
That's part of the,
Oh, you're gonna-
yeah, it's on the agenda.
Okay. Well,
any presentations?
I was going to just quickly.
Oh, yes, do your thing.
Some of you already know this too, but Shelley Putzer, who has been our director for 16 years, Tuesday was her last day. And so
Oh.
she is on to the city of Piedmont. She's the recreation director there. And then Isabella Duke is the new recreation director / assistant city manager. So she's going to be wearing 2 hats.
Good for her.
Yes. So we're
Do you
excited
think
for
that situation will be resolved in a certain, then we'll have another full-time director?
It's Isabel. Yeah. Yeah, at this point, it's Isabel. So Penelope Leach, you may remember that name. She was the recreation director and then did the 2 hats, 1 head with assistant city manager and recreation director too. So it has been done before. Yeah, so we're kind of working together to figure out how.
Cost saving to not replace her, but just.
I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I don't know. That's not how it was phrased to me there. I think it'll work just fine. It's been done before. Penelope did it. And so we may be shifting some things around. I may be taking a few more things. Lean
Oh, that's all you need.
did. Yeah.
Your
No.
son will come to work, do twice the work. And
Oh, sure. Right.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah. No, but it's a good change, and it's changed, so we're all kind of settling in nicely, and
Okay.
we'll just see how it all shakes out. Yeah. That's the only announcement I had.
Well, if you see Shelley,
Yes.
tell her for the Arts Committee. I think I
Yeah.
speak for all of us.
There is a little totally informal, impromptu get-together. If any of you would like to come on Thursday night, 4 to 7 at Little Star, just to give her a high five.
Nice, nice.
Welcome to join us, too. Yes,
Great.
I should mention that. And the benefit of having Isabel LaDuke as our director now is she was on the Arts Committee. So I have her literally right next door. So hopefully that is beneficial for a myriad of reasons.
Good, far out.
And Shelley used to be the liaison.
Yeah.
Yes, I know, right. I know. Yeah.
Any other announcements? Okay, presentations? I see none. Great. Discussion and possible action matters related to the following items. Community projects. Eva, talk to us.
I will give you an update. And again, I emailed 3 of you, so you have this information, but we can chat about it a little bit more. The community projects mural did not end up going to the council meeting on November 4th. And the main reason for that is once we started looking into what that contract with the artist and the business owners entailed, it's very lengthy. We have to cover the city, we have to cover the artists, we have to cover the owners, and I have to talk to a few different cities, just kind of started talking to a few different cities who have done similar murals on private property using city funds, and I'm just starting to work with them to try and still waiting to get their examples of them too, so we can hopefully just duplicate, add in our language. There will be some insurance requirements too of the artists, and so figuring out what that's going to look like. We required it for the example we have recently is the Loop, but the difference is that was a business not an individual. So the hope is that we can make it work for, and I've heard it talked about here in the committee of the whole purpose of the community projects is to encourage local artists to be able to do these projects. So trying to make it so that it, an individual can do a project like this too. So it's more, we want it to, the artist, was here and mentioned how long it takes and they don't know if council will accept it and everything. And we feel the same way. So we're doing all of this so that council will say, oh yeah, you've done everything, looks great, no problem. Just slide it on through. But it does take a lot more work than we're finding out.
Ava, what are the insurance amounts involved? And I ask just because for the artists, I'm wondering what type of financial burden they'll have to.
And I don't know the answer to that yet. So I'm looking at different cities too to see what they've required. And a lot of them have gotten, I need to find the person in Oakland because they're, I'm sure, just individuals doing these murals. But I don't know if they've used city funds. That's the difference, right? That's what complicates it all. It might just be through the owner just saying, hey, sure, paint a mural, And so that just complicates things more than we realize too. So no showstoppers. We're still moving forward with it. Jimena has been amazing and Christian too. But I think at this point it'll probably be in 2020 that they'll be painting. So, and they understand that.
Just not for immediate discussion, but something perhaps we could think about longer term. Is there any way to get around some of this by using some of the Albany foundations in some ways to fund projects like this, but somehow we would promote or support in some way just to avoid some of these requirements and delays and
Like a
things of that
workaround.
nature? Yeah, in the sense, I mean, obviously if we couldn't give the money directly to a foundation with the express purpose of putting the
Using
mural
it
on the
for the
wall,
mural, yeah.
people would see through that pretty quickly, but maybe there's some ways for the city and the foundation, some to collaborate or, again, not for tonight to discuss, but something to keep in mind, just because for the artists, it's a long path, and the insurance, I can imagine they're going to see that as a financial burden, and if
Yeah.
it's substantial, it could be
Yeah.
prohibitive.
Yeah, it's interesting, I can't remember what city it was, but that's exactly how they did it. They gave money, a grant to a nonprofit to run everything, and they said, here you go. And I'm curious to know what that looked like too, because, apparently city council was okay with that and everything too, but.
If you find out what city that was, let me know. And I will also start looking into it
Yeah,
in Berkeley and Oakland and the people that I know there.
yeah, Oakland would be
Is-
great too.
Does anyone know if federal or state funding, you have to do the same stuff? I'm thinking if, somehow some grant came in or whatever, did they tie the same types of strings to it? If there's a California for the Arts grant or something like that, are they going to also
But you know
require?
what, I know someone I can ask about that, who's the recipient of a lot of those grants, and I'll ask. So let me make a note about that.
I mean, is the main issue, that it's public funds going to, enhance a private piece of property?
Right. Increase the value. And how did we pick that one property? Why not another? Why that one over another property, right? What's fair? I wasn't on the committee, but I understand that even haikus, the committee was told that the haikus couldn't go on property for a similar reason. Does that sound familiar? Like it couldn't go on someone's front lawn.
It was so ridiculous.
Uh-huh. We blocked it out. Yeah. Yeah, right. Those are the considerations we unfortunately have to take into account, right?
Well, I mean, the city seemed to be practicing avoidance, getting involved in that. So it would be really interesting to find out what the real stumbling blocks have been for other cities and how they've gotten around it, how all those solutions have survived any kind of legal or civic objections. So there's a precedent, and all we have to do is take that language and apply it.
A lot of it has to do with the money, because when I talked to Ted Urban in Orinda, the way they got around it was by having private funding.
Was by what?
Having private funding.
Oh, right.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Yeah, he just would go to, I mean, it's a wealthy community. He would go to his friends and say,
yeah.
But I
Pay
mean,
this
that's the same
artist.
problem at One Remove, you know, because
Yeah,
if
then you're
the
putting it on
city is
public
giving
land.
money to some foundation, well, who's controlling them? And in fact, it might even be worse, because then you
Yeah.
have no control.
No control.
yeah. But it's still, the projects were going on public property.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
All
the
right.
artists are willing to,
At this point, they're still in it.
so invested in it, right?
they're so
No.
exhausted.
I know, I know.
Like, whatever.
I ran into her at the market, and we must have talked for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And she just vented away, and I just thought, absolutely.
Yeah, we all understand.
Understand,
Yeah.
because they've been at this for quite.
Right,
Yeah.
and I think they were hoping, at least for the
This year.
income in 2019, yeah, yeah.
All those kids in the mural are going to be grown up by the time.
That dog is dead.
Yeah. I do hope, just in our conversations, we've talked about this in here too, that to write something into the contract where that, there would be that upfront fee or payment that.
Oh, yeah, can we do that?
Whatever that is of, yeah, that would be like, here's the initial,
Yeah, get going. We're paying you to get going.
If I don't want to stall anything, but just, I don't know if anyone else saw it, might be of interest. I think Berkeley's being sued now by the artist who did the sculptures over I-80.
Oh.
Because Berkeley is saying they're going to take them down, and
Absolutely.
I
Where are
agree. But apparently,
By the
the
bridge.
artist
Yeah.
is saying, you know, there had been an agreement, and the city's in violation of the agreement towards the maintenance of the sculptures, et cetera. So I just read the blurb today in the paper, didn't get into it, but
Yeah.
that, for all of us, that might be worthwhile to kind of
That's
keep
really,
our eye on.
yeah, for sure, for certain. Well, they were supposed to be permanent sculptures.
Right.
Right.
which bridge?
Interesting.
Oh, the,
On University,
They'll walk over?
the walking bridge.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
the footbridge.
Yes, yes, yes,
There's like a Boy Scout, a hockey
Okay.
player, a
Okay.
tennis player, like.
And they were all kind of like,
okay,
looked like World War II sculptures.
okay.
Weird. Okay, should we move on? We good?
Sure.
Okay, sculpture loan program. We don't really have an update. We're really waiting, as I understand it, we're waiting for Public Works to make the schematic drawings of the pads so they could show them to Bart, and Bart can approve them. And when Bart approves them, then we take those same drawings and go to City Council and say, these are the permanent pads we want to put in. That's the flow, yes, Eva?
Yes.
Yes, and we're not, and Public Works is really, really jammed up. For some reason, they seem like incredibly easy drawings to me. I wonder if I should just go talk to Mark and say, my daughter will do them for free. You know, she's coming out here, she'll have time on her hands, she'll just do them.
I could ask him, if you
Is
tell
that-
me.
Is that her profession?
She's an architect. She said, if I couldn't do this, I couldn't get through the first semester of architecture school.
It might be, if you would just send me just maybe, I don't know if she has a website or her credentials or whatever, I could forward and
I
just
will,
say, we
I will.
have someone who's
And also,
offered.
here's the thing that we're going to run into, is the engineering sign-off for weight. We have to, and height.
Right.
And we're going to run into that
That's
with
what she can't,
Bart. She would need, well, she may be able to do it.
on her side, if she
Yeah.
works with engineers.
But then the city's going to have to look at it also, because the city is going to assume liability for the pad.
Right.
So they're going to need, this is what I taught when Andy and I met in Berkeley. That's the big thing, is that you need a structural engineer to sign off on it.
Right, right.
But she can do this, she can do the pictures, for sure.
Yeah. No, it's, yeah, the
She will,
structural
goddammit.
engineer, right.
Yeah, I'll send you your stuff. I'll send
it-
you her stuff.
It might be enough for him to be like, whoa, no, we got it.
Yeah,
Here it
I know,
is.
it just might say if we bring it in from the outside. The other thing, I had this wild idea, I thought, Jesus, this is driving me crazy. Let's just take those 3 sculptures and put them on Solano Avenue, because Cheryl, I know we can't, but Cheryl and I walked Solano Avenue, and we found 5 good places, really good places. We thought the sight lines were perfect, and we'll bring them to you. We'll make a presentation for the Solano Avenue Ladies Improvement Society.
Right.
But we can't really just swap out, because you've done all that work with the pictures and the thing and the blah, you know?
Right. Well, and the WW funds can only be used along the Albany Greenway too.
That's
so you
right.
would lose that
Right,
out.
so we have to use it there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was just an idea.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where we're at.
Is there any sense that they don't consider this important?
Well, I can tell you from my conversations with certain people who work for the city that the arts are not at the top of their list, surprisingly.
But
They're
if the
not-
city manager says, you have to get this done, then it doesn't really matter what they think is important.
Right. Yeah, but I'm not friends with the city manager.
Yeah, I understand
But if you think I should be,
well,
Okay.
I mean, it's
it's really taking, it's really taking a long time. On both the community, the mural and the sculpture, they're taking a very long time.
For different reasons.
So that's the update. Fall into haiku, so awesome. Go, Peter.
Oh, okay. So where we are is, we did extend the deadline. Thank you. We got enough submissions so that we had a good selection, and what we ended up with was a total of 75. Last year we had 93. And in terms of budgeting, we have 45 that can be on those yard signs, another 30 that are going to go as 11 by 17 posters in the big belly windows. And those should go up about the weekend before Thanksgiving, and they'll be up for about 3 weeks or so. So through Thanksgiving and then into mid-December. And tonight at Edith Stone Room, Becca Black organized a wonderful gathering of people who had submitted poems, had their poems selected, and huge turnout, adults and kids, and they all came up and read one after the other. It was a wonderful event.
How many people would you say?
60?
Oh,
Yeah.
60,
Yeah, the room was
70?
packed.
packed house, great.
Fabulous.
We exceeded the room capacity.
Yay.
It's really just a lot of really good energy. Everybody had a good time, and the poems sounded wonderful.
Great.
And
Yeah,
the
they
kids,
did.
they're really proud that they, got up there and read their stuff. and It was fun. It was really a nice event. Made it all worthwhile. I
Great,
thought.
great. I was, if you have pictures, you can email or text me or something like that,
Yeah, I
too.
took a couple. and,
Okay.
Rachel, the librarian, asked me to
Okay.
share them, or share them with her.
Okay,
So I'll send them to you, too.
wonderful. We'll post those and brag about it. That's wonderful. Thank you both for being there and
Oh, it was great.
reporting back. And
It was
yeah.
really fun. I mean, it was really, really
Oh,
fun.
yeah, and one of Jenny's poems was,
Hey,
Ta-da.
did you read?
I did.
Wait,
Good for you.
good.
So Peter, thank you. I know
Yes.
that's a ton of work, and it was really, and I think everybody felt really good about it. And I got to say one thing about the poems is they were super, hey, Andy, they were like hyper local. They were like, every poem was like an inside joke about Albany.
Oh, funny.
It was really funny. Didn't you think that was really
yeah,
great?
a lot of them were like that.
A lot of them were really, really so specific to living here. Nice jacket.
Thanks.
All right, so
One
that
thing I was going to
that
say
great.
about that, Peter, too, is as far as installation, last time we talked about Zebo maybe rounding up a few friends
Yeah,
to
do you
help
need?
on the weekend for installation around town,
I would love some
possibly.
help if-
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to reach out and see if, or I can reach out and see if he can,
Reach out to who?
Zebo, who's not here,
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
yeah, see
Oh,
if he
Did
can
say
round up.
He could do that?
He didn't
He's a
say
high school boy. Come on.
He didn't say he couldn't. We just all kind of pointed at him and,
I see. Okay.
but it seems like a good
All right.
It does.
community project for them to.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
You give them all a bunch of signs and some masks and just say, write the number on the map where you put it and,
Do you want to reach out to him directly, or I
Yeah.
can? Okay,
Yeah.
you'll do it. Okay.
Do I don't think I've got his email. though.
Okay, I can.
He's on, if you look on the thing, is his email on the
I don't remember if
No,
they're
it-
posted
on the
online.
website, or is it his phone
Oh,
number?
no, I don't think they put it on the
Okay.
website.
Okay.
I'll email it to you.
And he's incredibly chatty one-on-one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, easy to talk to. Really easy
That'd
to
be a
talk to.
fun way for him to get involved, I think, too. Yeah.
Okay, so that was great, and I'm really grateful to Peter for going through that again. All right, Cheryl.
Okay, last month, I did not bring the schedule with me, so this week. I bring
Oh,
the
good.
schedule. So we have the schedule for this coming year. Ava Attorney Danish is our first, she's the photographer, and her show goes up on January 11th, and the reception is on the 12th of January. Okay? And it comes down on March 30th. Then Jean Nowitzki goes up on April 4th, and reception is on the 5th, and it closes on July 6th. Linda Wong goes up on July 11th.
What is she?
Linda Wong is the woman who had the, they were kind of embroidered pictures, and she put them together and kind of collage-like. As it turns out, they are in shadow boxes. They are amazing.
Are they?
Gorgeous. Her husband is a woodworker, and so
Oh,
he
very
makes
nice.
shadow boxes, and I gave them some clips, our security things, so he could figure out how to attach them to
Great.
the boxes.
And can you tell me the dates of that show again?
Yes, opens July 11th, reception the 12th, closes October 6th.
And what's her name again?
Linda Wong.
I can also send this out to everyone,
Oh,
too.
okay.
Great.
I should have.
Yeah, but if I put it in my calendar now,
Lucy Pickering, she was kind of a graphic artist, and she opens October 10th, reception the 11th, and she closes January 4th. So, I was bringing some friends to see Aura's show, the quilt show, and as it turned out, Aura was there with her husband and a friend of hers who was in from DC, and he had just said to her, "Wouldn't it be funny if Cheryl showed up and I walk in?"
wow.
So it was just a riot, and she's such a charmer. She sold a quilt, she's very excited.
Far
And,
out.
I've heard lots of wonderful comments about the quilt show.
We have
No
two.
problems with the installation?
No, everything seems to
Great.
be holding up just fine. Is it going to stop me from worrying? Not a chance. But it looks great, it's still holding up beautifully, and she's a happy camper.
People just rave about it.
People
And I
rave about
don't know that I've had that happen at the community center. Like people, oh, it's a nice show. Who is this? But this
Yes,
is
but
just like,
this is-
wow.
This is another level.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah, it is.
And from our side, it's far enough away where they look like photographs,
Yeah.
and then you get closer and you just see the amazing details.
That kind of stuff.
Pretty unique.
The other thing I forgot to mention last time was Betsy Kendall, who
Yeah.
was the show before that.
Yeah, the painting.
Sold 6 things. She was.
Oh,
very
that's
delighted.
so great.
She thought we were marvelous. Her
Well,
work is
yes,
marvelous.
her work is beautiful, but that is really wonderful.
Great there, and she was very, very delighted. So that was great. So I think that's all the information that I have for
Neat.
what's going to be happening.
Great, thank you, Cheryl. Future agenda items.
I will report on the haiku next time.
I will probably not be here next meeting. My husband is having a hip replacement on the 9th, so it's unlikely that I will.
Be a back-end call is what they
So,
call it.
yes, exactly. So, I'll
He'll be
remind-
skipping by then. They have you right up on your feet
Yes, absolutely.
by 7 p.m. No.
I'd like to put in a proposal for the utility box art,
Okay.
Yeah,
if that's possible. I've been
You have an
speaking with the city of San Leandro, and they've implemented a program there. So they were happy to share with me what they've done over there.
Do we have enough utility boxes?
That is a good question. So it'd be
Many
good
we
to get some
have.
information on how many there are and how many, I see.
Don't have enough to have a
To
program?
Have a program.
How many do you need?
I don't know, but I
Uh-huh.
remember that was the big stopping point the last time we wanted to do that, is they kept saying, you don't have enough boxes.
I got it.
So,
And also that the city doesn't own them. So it'd
Yes.
be interesting to know if they
How they implement
if they own
that.
them.
Sure.
Emeryville does own theirs, and so that, and I don't know where that,
owns them.
how you own your own boxes versus, I don't know the details of that.
Great. So yeah, if you guys can give me some help with that at all.
Yeah,
If not,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
do some research myself.
Okay.
Yep.
And if you have any questions for the city, just email me and I can pass it to the right person too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are these?
Those I mentioned
Best
last
thing.
time. So these are with the
Abbey
giveaway for
Road.
Albany Local Week. We had our graphic designer
I took
uh,
those.
intern design those.
Very
So they're
cool.
so Albany.
Is this someone's painting, or is it
Graphic design, she,
like a photograph and?
yeah, I think it's a photograph that was taken and altered,
Processed,
and
yeah.
then she added the turkeys, and,
Very charming.
yeah, it's neat.
And it's
Do you have one,
it's a
Andy?
sticker,
It's a sticker.
yeah,
Do you have an extra one?
you put on your laptop
Pass that
or
down.
something.
Yeah. Not many people have these, only people who turned in their scorecard, so you guys are,
Oh,
I mentioned it last time, I thought I'd bring some.
thank you.
Great, thank
Albany
you.
local. Anything else for future agenda items?
Yes, but I forget what it is. Oh, yes. I wanted, to- you know, on the Albany Greenway, which we had something to do with some of those murals, I think. Christian and, did you have something to do with, a whole fence has fallen down with my favorite mural, the ones that the
Fell?
kids did. Yeah, it fell during that windy section, and it's gone, it's dead, and it was all those panels, remember that one? I liked that one.
Yeah, I know which one. The city didn't have anything to do, Recreation, kind of took on the anti-graffiti initiative, and so
Yeah.
we talked to a lot of the owners of the
Yeah.
houses and introduced them to Christian, and then it kind of flourished from there. People were like, I think they talked to each other probably.
Right.
So the only thing at this point would just be to knock on that door and just say, it's fallen down, and,
Oh, they know it's fallen down.
yeah.
When is, but it's the one that was self-done by a bunch, it was a lot of
It's a-
kids.
It's a group of people, and they have a little name for themselves. I'm
Okay,
not
cool.
remembering who it is,
Okay.
but I don't know that I have any way to get a hold of the artists group.
But I
Um,
could go to the homeowner and say, when you rebuild that fence, are you open to having another mural on it? Right? I would
Yeah.
do that.
Because those are not our fences.
No,
Those
they're
the
private
homeowners.
fences,
Right.
but
Private fences.
is there any, and those murals were done for free by Christian and Jimena.
That I don't know.
Oh, yes,
You think they were all free?
absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I assumed there was
They
some,
were trying to get their name out,
Marketing.
and they came to talk to us about it, and they said they were interested, and they were willing to work
Okay.
at that point.
Okay.
Free, because
Yeah.
that was good.
See, and
Yes.
again, you
Marketing.
run into that thing that we're going to run into with the mural on Dana Myers and the pet hospital, which is it's on private property.
but if but if it's not city funds,
It's not city funds, you know,
Right.
we can't promote it, I mean, we could promote it but not pay for it.
yeah, I mean,
Is
the
that
Arts
true?
Committee can go to every homeowner and
And
say, we're the
say-
Arts Committee, and we encourage you to do a mural on, and here's a list of artists that do murals
And if
nearby.
they pay for it themselves, they can do signs,
Sure.
right? Because when I talked to
Mm, think
Dana
so.
Meyer, I went down to Dana Myers to just check out the site and make sure everything was copacetic with them,
Uh-huh.
and they said they tried to put a Mariposa butterfly, on the top of their building, and the Arts Committee told them they couldn't because it was a sign. I said, that doesn't sound like us, it sounds like we would,
It's not the arts
It's not
committee.
us.
it wasn't the Arts,
Be
it was a
design
long
review.
time ago, and I told them the Arts Committee didn't exist then. But somebody told them they couldn't do it, so I said,
I
you
wonder
go
if
right
it
ahead
was
and do
like
it.
building code, it didn't.
Well, if it's, yeah, I mean, it could be a code violation. If it's a commercial sign, it has to go through
The only,
design review.
and the only thing I can think of is like Toyota, when they came to us to do the
Yes.
in lieu funds, couldn't do a sign,
They couldn't do a sign.
right? That didn't
That's right.
qualify as art. That's the only thing I can think of where. a
Well,
sign
Cheryl and
would-
I have done a critique of Solano Avenue,
Yes.
and we know exactly, we know everyone we want to have repaint their building.
Uh-huh.
We have the list.
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
The mural brochure, I'll drop
Yeah,
off to each of those.
We need the mural
Yeah.
brochure. I need to get some, and I need to talk to people.
Yeah.
Along those lines with the Solano Avenue
Yes.
Association, is that what it's called? Like, would they pool their money into like a mural fund or something?
It's
They're
worth
just
having
hanging
that
on, aren't
conversation.
they? Those
That's why I'm not
merchants
sure.
always say
I was
that they're, at an economic development meeting that I went to, they said, man, we can't, don't nickel and dime us, because we are nickeled and dimed.
Yeah, I see.
They are just hanging on Solano.
You talk you mean the association
No, I went to the economic development.
subcommittee?
It was this, it wasn't, it was before the subcommittee. It was a hearing session. They had hired a consultant to come in and do a listening session, and a
Oh,
lot of
yeah, yeah.
merchants, when I
2
went.
years ago or something?
Yeah, and I went for us,
Yeah, yeah,
and they were like, yeah, you know, we want the arts, we want the arts, we want the arts on Solano, but we can't pay for it.
as merchants.
as merchants.
Right, right,
We can't afford it.
yep. Yep.
I get that. Any other future agenda items? I will report back about the sculpture loan program, and I will report back about talking, if I can do we still have those mural brochures? Do you still have
I
them?
have
Do you
it.
have them?
I've got the PDF. I'll send it to you.
Send it to me and I'll print some up.
Print it out as
I
much
will.
as you want.
I will. Send it, please send it to me. I'll start talking to people about the mural thing.
I'll send it to you even.
Mm-hmm.
You can,
Send it to everyone?
yeah,
That'd be great.
print it in color and black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go backwards 1 second? I know everybody wants to get out of here, and I do too. But Andy, I made a report about the sculpture loan program, about how we're in a stepwise process, and we're stuck at the point where Public Works has to make the schematic drawings for the pads, and then we have to take those drawings to BART. And if the BART approves, then we take those drawings to City Council, and if the City Council approves, then we put the pads in. And I was saying, gee, we can get those drawings. We don't have to wait for Public Works. But remember when we met at your place? And we talked about needing a structural engineer
Yes.
to approve the pads? You remember that too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to update you all, that organization is 501c3. They have their status now. And that group, which I am a board member of, has a structural engineer on the board as well.
Great, remind us the name of the group.
Local Artists Berkeley.
Yeah, that's right, it's Lab.
Yeah.
Right.
I know it's a bit of a conflict of interest, obviously, because I'm on that board, but I'm on this committee as well.
Right.
But they're probably the only group that is doing something like this on that caliber. So.
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting concept.
That's the difference of it. There's also this other group called RABU, RBHU, who are structural engineers for the arts as well.
Great,
But they're very expensive.
right. And your structural engineer is not very expensive.
Well, it's through the organization, so it's got a status now. So it'd be a good conversation to start, perhaps.
Yep.
If that can happen.
Great.
And I think we just need to get together.
Okay, we always want to get together anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to bring that up formally.
Sure.
We'll report back about that. Anything else? Okay. The next meeting is December 9th. Cheryl will not be here. Does anybody move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second it?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Another fast meeting.
You know, we knew, there's a question about, I will say off the record, about whether we should meet when we know there's not much to discuss, but I'm kind of in favor. I took a straw poll, which meant that I wrote to Peter. So what do you think? And, and his point was, and I think it's a really good point, he says we have to meet by law, but then I was thinking about it, we have to meet because we need to see each other, and we need to talk to each other.
We need to talk to each other.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
I do too. Yes, so even if it's like let's do it.
Still, we connect.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.